Welcome to the Fifth Aliyah. Let's take a look in our book. The Fifth Aliyah started in 1929, but the first big push happened in 1933 when Hitler came into power. This by itself was a big influence for many Jews in Germany. In the meantime, there was still persecution and anti-Semitism throughout Eastern Europe, along with the start of World War II, which caused Eastern European Jews to join in the Fifth Aliyah. Almost 250,000 Jews came to Palestine over a 10-year period. Between 1933 and 1936, approximately 174,000 Jews immigrated and settled in the country. Unfortunately, 20,000 of the 250,000 Jews eventually moved back to Europe. In 1920 again, and in 1929 and again in 1936 and 1939, there were violent Arab attacks in Palestine, so the British imposed restrictions on immigration, which resulted in people immigrating illegally. We'll touch on this later. Many people who made the Fifth Aliyah came from Germany and Eastern Europe, which I said before. They were professionals in many fields, including doctors and lawyers. The Germans were the most successful economically and were able to adjust quickly to the life in Palestine. Many of them had been wealthy, educated, and committed Zionists in Eastern Europe and in Palestine. Because they made Aliyah to urban areas, they were able to use the same familiar skills for work. Because of the Fifth Aliyah, there were new industrial enterprises, an enlarged urban market, and a thriving agricultural sector. It also helped develop larger Jewish urban centers such as Haifa, Petach Tikva, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv. In 1939, the White Paper by the British was instituted because the Arabs were revolting and they weren't going to accept any new Jewish immigration. The Arabs wanted the English and the Jews out of Palestine. They became enraged, which was not a good sign because the British depended on them for oil, especially with a new world war on the horizon. At first, the British suggested that a very small territory in Palestine, 1/10 of what later became Israel, should become Jewish territory, which both Arabs and Jews rejected. The White Paper was then instituted, limiting Jewish immigration for 5 years, and then after which Jewish immigration would stop altogether and become illegal. Zionism was deeply affected by the Fifth Aliyah. A struggle was arising in Palestine to determine if there should be a more socialist or a more capital influence in Israel. Within Palestine, there was more of a socialist orientation supported by the agricultural people. However, as Zionism spread throughout the diaspora, the Jews affected tended to be more middle class to higher class and supportive of capitalism. In the Yishuv, the political power was given to the parties who are ideologically favored and oriented. The people that cared about the land but did not feel ideologically connected to a party still called themselves Zionists. But because the Jews in Palestine were so focused on these specific ideologies, they did not reach out and connect with Zionists in the